Yeah, it still upsets me to this day. Although, in fairness, had he had a good season that season,
Nice
Way
class.
the luxury cars that we're going to get to.
Oh, I'm traumatized now. Jack scared me with that.
Oh, great.
Put your mic in before we
oh
talk about the W cars. The W
yay,
cars.
get to the W cars.
I need to get what model
I've
is
only
the
got about half an hour left as well.
cool. So, hold on. Let me just get what Mercedes is the 2013 car?
The W04,
The W Waffer.
the Wolf.
Not great, but not bad.
So this is right. So it was capable of winning races. It was so good in qualifying. It got. Oh, I can't remember how many poles it got, but I'm pretty sure Mercedes went on a run of like 4 or 5 poles in a row. No,
Skip.
in fact, no. It got it got 4 poles in a row, and it only converted one of those into a win. But it wasn't even the car that got pole position. In fact, Hamilton. No, no. Sorry, I've got this wrong. Hamilton got 4 poles in a row from Silverstone all the way through to Spa, and he won one race. That's sad. I mean, statistically at this point, it was his weakest season in terms of wins because he only achieved one.
Yeah, like even the 2009 car got more wins.
Exactly, he got 2 that season. He got 1, but I'd say the car they had was better than the McLaren because it was consistently. I mean, the Red Bull was the best. The Ferrari was the second fastest overall in the hands of. Oh no, was it? No, I'd say the over the course of the season, I think the Mercedes was better than the Ferrari, but Alonso was just doing wonders with it. And then you're taking, oh,
Well,
Lotus was good
compared
at
to his
some points.
teammate, compared to Max, he got double his points.
Yeah, that is
Which is
true.
fucking mental.
I think the
Between
Mercedes was, I think the Mercedes was better than the Ferrari. I'm trying to gauge where the Lotus was because it obviously it won the first race, and it got
Should have
a
won
lot of
Germany.
podiums. Yeah.
Do you want me to be honest? From looking at stats and figures, I'd say it was less than the Mercedes. But at the same
Stats
time,
and figures,
it
yeah,
had
but
Grosjean and Raikkonen in the seat, so
mm, I think it was just about the second best car. Just.
Mercedes.
Yeah. Of that season, just about. But I think the performances of Raikkonen and Alonso hauled those cars into better positions, and also the Mercedes had an issue with the fact that the car was starving and absolutely munching its tyres like they were going out of fashion until about Hungary. And you know they had that illegal tyre test around the Canadian Grand Prix and Monaco Grand Prix time. So there's a bit of controversy about that. But after Hungary, when they went back to the 2012 spec tyres, it was a lot better. And was consistently on for the podiums. Nico won 2 races in that car. He drove brilliantly in Monaco. In Silverstone, Hamilton put it on pole, had a puncture. Vettel was then leading, and then he had a gearbox problem, and Nico won the race. They had good pace. That car was solid. Second best car, just. But where would I rank it in comparison to the other McLarens? That's the thing I'm struggling with here. I maybe just below the 2011 McLaren. It wasn't convincingly. It wasn't as convincingly the second best car, and it was kind of it was the second best car, but also had issues. Like the 2011 car didn't have as many issues as the 2013 car. I think. I'd put it. It's only better than the 2009 car, even though the 2009 car had more wins than that. I think, as an overall package, it was more consistent, and you could easily score podiums and wins in the Mercedes than the McLaren. I'm talking about Hamilton, of course, when he, Mercedes won more races than McLaren in 2009, but Hamilton won one less. But I think it's
There's
second
not
to
much
last
to
for
say
me.
about that car because it's just a bit.
Bit naff.
But I think everything looks a bit compared to the Adrian Newey masterpiece of its time.
Yeah. I'd say it's like a 2009 if I'm honest.
I'm
it's
gonna
more on
put
the
it
worst spectrum.
just above last.
Yeah. Agreed.
Because I think the McLaren as well from 2010, which is what it's behind, is a bit more of an all-rounder car. Because the Mercedes is just a qualifying car, really.
It was a qualifying car, and then occasionally it did good in the races, but other times it'd fall back to mid points. So, yeah, I'd put it second to last.
So then we get to the big boys.
This is where Brad and I get rods on. The W05, easily number one.
Really?
What?
It's
Are you telling?
crushingly unreliable.
And yet it still won 16 of the 19 races that season.
No, well, we're talking about Hamilton's car.
Well, Hamilton won 11 of the 19 races that season. Could have won 13 or 14 of them. The 3 races he DNF'd from, Australia, okay, podium. Canada, that's a win. Spa, that's a win. So at
But
least
then you
13.
think about how many times in qualifying it made it so hard for him.
Well, yeah, brake failure in Germany, an engine fire flamethrower in Hungary. Qualifying. Austria, he fucked up on the brakes. In fairness, his qualifying was dodgy in 2014. Like, Nico outqualified him, like, throughout the year. I think Nico had 10 or 11 poles. I think. Potentially. Not entirely sure. But
No
he
idea.
definitely outdid Hamilton in qualifying.
Can I just state? So Finn, you wanted to say that. You know, we said about the car dominating, or Jack said about the car dominating. You went no, Lewis's car.
So are you saying, where are you putting this
Now-
exactly relative to the McLarens here?
Now,
Because Lewis's car, it had no challenge from any other car apart from Nico's Mercedes, which is the same fucking car.
I just want to state one fact. Both the cars are the exact same amount of DNFs. Or sorry, Lewis had 3 DNFs. Rosberg had 2. But in
Abu
one of the
Dhabi is technically a
races,
DNF,
he
really.
got 14th, so he didn't get any points.
That race as well, he was
realistically-
asked to DNF, but he wanted to stay out and he wanted to finish the race.
So
like,
realistically,
thingy.
the car was the same between both drivers.
But Hamilton had more reliability outside of the races. That still let him down.
Yeah.
He had at least like 3 qualifying DNFs as well.
In fairness,
And
he is right about that.
And he still won by 70 points.
But the car was ridiculous.
He still
Like,
won by, like,
it's
67
ridiculous when in Bahrain, after the safety car with about 12 laps to go, Lewis and Nico are fighting a hammer and tongs, and they still finish so far clear of the next car. That being a Force India. Like, that car is, out of all the cars we've had so far, it is easily
I'd
the
say
most
that's the most
dominant over
dominant, yeah.
any other car.
Yeah. I'd say that is the most.
If you look at
dominant
the 3 races that Ricardo won, Mercedes easily could have won. One because of reliability in the race in Canada. Ricardo's most on merit race win was Hungary. Lewis started at the back, probably could have started from the front and won, or Nico probably could have been a bit it could have been helped out by Lewis or been a bit luckier with safety cars and that. And then in Spa, they should have got 1-2, but Nico hit Lewis.
Yeah. What do you
It's
guys
the-
think on
It's
Nico?
the best car.
I'm just quite curious.
He was a great driver at that. Well, I say great. He was very good, but you could tell he was not on the level of Hamilton.
Yeah. Okay.
Finn, your thoughts?
See, I'm really reluctant to put it as the best car on the list so
So
far
far.
because, yeah, so far obviously, because I think the next car that we talk about might
Yeah,
be
but
the
we're not
best
on
one.
about that. Yeah, but
I-
then you can demote.
It's the
That's
best.
thing.
I think the W05 is the best one we've had so far.
Talking
I-
about the last, the
Relative to the other cars around it, it is so far clear. Like in my opinion, the W05 is clear of the next best car by a larger distance than I think the 2012 McLaren was to the next best car then. Like it's so far ahead. Like 11 race wins. Every race he finished, he was on the podium. And he didn't finish 3 times, and those races he would have finished on the podium.
Okay.
That's something that I always thought about. That's probably one of his best ever seasons of Formula One.
It's his best championship win apart from 2018.
I would agree. I think it was. Because despite the fact that he was on the back foot in the races, he still managed to come through and win them.
Mm.
I do think it's the best one so
Well,
far.
I'll put it at the top now.
Yeah, okay.
And then I'm going to immediately put the 2015 Mercedes even higher than that because it was an even better package.
I think Ferrari in 2015 were closer to Mercedes than Red Bull were in 2014. But I think Lewis drove
didn't
that
blow up
Mercedes
as much.
better. If it was more reliable, and I think Lewis was driving better because he had the comfort of the car not failing him at every opportunity. He was able to drive more comfortably in that season, and he wrapped the title up 3 races before the end. And his qualifying was better. Okay, yeah, fine. I can get behind that. Brad, your thoughts?
I wouldn't say it's a 2014 car. I mean, I would, but wouldn't at the same time. It's a strong car.
I do think part of me really thinks that the W05 is slightly better than the W06, but because of the
Yeah.
reasons I've given, and I think Finn has a valid point to put it at the top.
I only say just because of reliability basis.
Plus, I don't think Lewis was as consistent, but he still. Because Lewis had a few iffy moments.
He only
But
had-
Hungary,
considering-
Hungary was a really off one. He had a DNF in Singapore, but he wasn't even on the podium. He won 10 races, a fair more amount of poles, lost out on a few race wins. But
I mean, on
yeah,
stats,
I'll give it.
on stats. I mean, if I'm looking at this right now on stats, that car is marginally better because he's only a
Yes,
one DNF
It was more reliable.
between it. So
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I get that.
Alright.
I
Yeah, no.
understand Finn's point of view. I do. Right, let's forget 2017. Yeah.
Yeah. But right, I'm conflicted, right? Because
How much does the reliability of that car let him
yeah,
down?
because it lets him down a fair bit here.
But then also Lewis is driving, and is particularly his starts ruin his races a lot.
Because this is the thing as well. The fact that Lewis was so off the ball, Nico was so on the ball, and he lost the championship by 5 points, is jarring.
Malaysia, baby.
Right. I know we're talking about Hamilton here, right? But if we talk about the car, it won every race bar two. The two races it didn't win,
Well, when
Mercedes' mental breakdown in Spain, Hamilton's flamethrower in Malaysia.
and Vettel's torpedo into the first corner. That took Rosberg out of the
Yes,
win.
yes.
Who won at Malaysia?
Ricardo. Because Nico
Oh,
got
he
fucked
did.
over by Seb and Hamilton got fucked over by his power unit.
To be fair,
Also, there was a thing
the
that year,
worst-
Hamilton had so much reliability issue. He had, do you remember he started from the back in Spa because he'd lost so many engine parts?
One thing I will also say as well is that this is actually a car issue more than Hamilton. I did just say it was a Hamilton issue, but it's actually more of a car issue when you look at it. The Mercedes
It was.
couldn't pull away from the line. It consistently got jumped by the Ferraris that were normally better in qualifying than the Red
It
Bulls.
got jumped in. It got jumped in Australia, and then Vettel also jumped them in
Canada.
Canada. It wasn't. Hamilton did struggle with that car getting off the line. There's a compilation of him having a horrid time.
He couldn't get off the line in Japan either. I mean, you can't really count Bahrain as a bad start because that was just Bottas, really.
Bottas bowling has been a thing for years. I'm not trying to hear it about Hungary 2021. It started before then. But in Australia, he started on pole. In fact, actually, up from 2014 to 2019, he was the pole sitter in Australia. Just a fun fact.
I just realised something, guys.
Mm.
This is completely unrelated. Completely.
Great.
Do you know where we've been playing Roblox, right?
Yeah.
And we've been doing Doom 3.
Mm.
Do you remember how you run in the new Roblox thing that we came across?
Don't tell me we can
serious?
sprint. No!
No.
Oh
Sorry.
fuck!
Sorry. Alright, unrelated. I'm gonna check it out now, but I just saw a video of it.
We'll do that another time, alright? Fuck's sake.
Check out our other videos on that if you want to find out what in the world we're talking about.
Mainly on Tin Ten Fish's channel because me and Brad haven't got round to doing those yet.
Oh yeah, it's carnage.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, that's pissed me off. Right, anyway, back to the 2016 Mercedes and Hamilton. Same amount of wins as 2015. A few mistakes here and there, car issues. In my head, if it was just the car, I'd put it as the second best, but there's probably a case to put it as third.
I wouldn't put it behind because I think it would have actually, whether it would have been Nico or Hamilton, it would have won every race had
Yes,
crashes
it
not
would have.
happened. Despite
This is
how
the thing-
unreliable it is,
Sorry.
but the fact, well, it wasn't unreliable, it was just poor in certain areas. But I think that
something
made it so
interesting.
much harder to win with, so I feel like it can't be faster, it can't go above the 2015 car.
It can't. I think. I was just thinking as well. Only out of the three hybrid Mercedes cars we've got so far, only 2015 has there been a race where I thought the Mercedes genuinely just wasn't good enough to win in at least one of the races. Like 2014 and 16, it should have won all of them, but due to circumstances, it didn't. In 15, they were beaten on merit in Singapore. Like the car was just not good enough.
Yeah.
And it nearly got beaten in 2016, by the way. It was close in Singapore. But I think it's, if we're looking at it, especially from Hamilton's perspective, I'd put it just third.
I'd actually
I
put it
don't
second.
it can't be better than the W05. As a car, maybe, yes, in terms of dominance over the next car, I think it's pretty close. But if we're, as you mentioned about, obviously we're focusing it on from sort of a Hamilton perspective, taking in all the factors, Hamilton struggled with that car more than the 2014 one. Like, Hamilton had actual driving issues with that one. The car was just unreliable in 2014. If it had 2016's reliability, which was slightly better, Hamilton probably would have scored more points that way.
Yeah.
I would
Alright.
say
I
that
don't
car
think
is
it's better
just
than. I don't think it's better than the 05.
Just like 2014, I'd say the car is literally like a 1-to-1.
It is. It literally is. But I just don't think, from Hamilton's perspective, we can't put it above the 05. But if we were talking about just the car in general, it's the best one so far. That's why I'm conflicted about it.
Yeah.
But I can't put it above the 05. I don't know about you. What do you think?
I mean, I've put it third.
Okay.
It's the
You'd say
third.
it's worse than the 2014.
I think the fact that Hamilton couldn't gel with it either as well makes it a worse
Yeah.
car because it. I mean, obviously, because if it's the car, then the car only worked with Nico, really, because Nico was the only one who felt comfortable driving it. But Hamilton in 2014, he was still just as quick as Nico.
They were both very good in 2014. Lewis was so comfortable in 15, and then 16 it was the reverse.
Yeah.
And because we're taking it from Lewis's perspective, it's probably the weaker of the three. That's my logic behind it.
Yeah. "17."
Yeah, I think we leave it in third and we come back to it if we need to change it. 17. Who wants to
Does
start?
that have to
this
be the
one?
last one that we talk about because Jack's got bedtime?
No. If we push hard and fast, we can get to a certain. Well, in fairness, let's just do it. 17. Someone start.
I would be reluctant to put it actually. I
Would say
might.
it's his best car.
No, it was obviously almost for the first half of the year. It was almost beaten by Ferrari. They were basically.
Can
think
I
they
make
had like
a,
6-5
Can I
6-5?
make a slightly, maybe considered a controversial opinion here? I'd stick it in between 07 McLaren and 08 McLaren.
I could see that.
Yeah, because
Because
again,
the
it is
Ferrari was.
compared to Ferrari.
I'd say the Ferrari was just as good and sometimes better in the first half, and in the second half, Ferrari dropped off and Mercedes just kept going. I think that, and plus Hamilton won 9 races. He drove. In fairness, I think he drove most of the time very well. There were races when the car just was. It wasn't even sometimes on the pace of Red Bull, like in Malaysia, for example, and Mexico. It wasn't very. Obviously, Hamilton had issues then, but the Red Bull was very good occasionally.
Hamilton did lose wins. Like Baku, he lost that win.
Yeah, Baku,
To be fair, half
yeah,
the people in that race lost the win.
yeah, but Hamilton probably was the one who lost it the worst. Not the yeah.
Because I would actually like to go on a bit of a tangent about that race. So Hamilton should have won it, but his headrest came out. Vettel then probably should have won it had he not driven into the back of Hamilton and got the penalty.
Massa then should have won it.
But his hydraulics failed. Then either Perez
Massa
or
or
Ocon
Raikkonen.
should have won it, but they took each other
Oh,
out.
but Bottas.
Bottas or Raikkonen probably could have won it if they hadn't been taken out on the first lap.
Massa.
And Verstappen would have won that had his engine
Oh,
not given
yeah.
up. So Ricciardo only won that race because about 8 people weren't there to win it. So, and also that's why I don't really think Ricciardo. That's not even one of Ricciardo's best races because he just got kind of
Ooh,
gifted the
free
win.
car overtake. I don't care.
He got gifted the win.
Yeah, it was his mate. Yeah.
It's probably actually
Can
his
we just
worst
say
win.
though, the free car overtake that he down was on like nobody's.
Back markers.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was on a Williams, a Haas, and a
Williams
Renault.
was the only one that
Yeah.
was a realistic challenge.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I mean. There was not a single car there that could. It's not like it was a Mercedes and a fucking Ferrari, was it?
Yeah.
The Echo.
That Echo's mental.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it's not like it's against his competitors and he's done that. Because if he was to do that, that would be a fucking monumental move. But it's not
Yeah.
the case.
But anyway, tangent. We'll come back to that maybe another time. That's another idea that I've got in my head for
Underrated
something.
seasons.
Underrated
That's a series.
races. Overrated things. Right, overrated and underrated. That's a new series. Right, coming soon. But carrying on, I'd put it right. So, I'd put it in between 07 or 08 as
I'd put
a
it fifth, which is
car.
in between the championship contending McLarens.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I'd say the same.
To
18.
be
I'd say
fair,
this is
The Ferrari was better.
the Ferrari was better, but Bottas's bad luck and sometimes poor results make the car a little bit worse than what it looks like.
Slightly small tangent. Bottas should have been leading the championship going into Monaco. Right, tangent over.
Again, another thing that we probably could talk about.
Another Hitchy coming back.
Look out on Jack's TikTok for that.
No, it's not going back on TikTok. I'll just do
Oh.
a stream on it. Yeah,
I do think it was the second fastest car by quite a bit. I think that
but
Ferrari
I think
was
Hamilton was
way faster.
Hamilton was a demon at times,
He had a shaky
and it was better
setup,
than this.
like he probably does every year for some reason.
He had a similar start to 2016 actually, but then he actually got his act together, and then Ferrari started throwing it, or Vettel started throwing it down the shitter.
But yeah, Lewis had second,
But
third,
but
fourth,
Lewis,
and then first, third.
but his
Yeah.
first win in Baku was gifted from the fact that two people. I mean, Vettel got caught out by the safety car, then he threw it away on the restart and took the magic route almost, and then Bottas got a puncher. So
Yeah, that was sad for
he
Bottas.
should have been third. He should have been second, then he should have been third, and then he won the race. Anyway, it's a better car than 2017, but
Oh, yeah.
it wasn't the
Is
best
it?
car on the grid. It's a better car than 2017 in terms of, if you were to compare 2017
Lewis.
car and Lewis and 2018 car and Lewis, it's a better combination in 2018, but the car is not the best car on the grid. And that Ferrari is far more convincingly better. So,
There's one car I'm waiting for.
But
and
no,
then
but on that basis,
but
wouldn't you
was-
put it behind the 2017 car because Hamilton dragged more results out of it?
you could argue that, and I'm going to agree actually. But it's better than the 2008 one, I think. The combination is better than 08, but I don't know. Well,
Because
I think
2008,
Lu-
he was
Yeah,
he
yeah,
made more
no, do you know what?
mistakes.
Do you know what? I accept that actually. It can go in between 17 and 8 then, yeah?
Hmm.
Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I would still actually put it behind 2008's car because Hamilton made more
No,
mistakes that
don't-
threw the championship away. Well, he didn't throw it away, but he
Uh.
made it harder for himself to win. Whereas in 2018, Hamilton didn't really make mistakes. He just had some weekends where he wasn't quick,
True, but...
but he was
God.
still scoring points like all the time.
Yeah, true. I'm going to put it in front.
I mean, I don't
What
mind.
about you, Brad?
Wherever it
Decided
goes.
vote. Deciding vote, Brad.
But put it in front of behind what car?
The 08 car.
I would put it in.
This is the 2008 car, not the W08. When Jack says 08.
I know. Yeah. No, I know. Me and Jack are talking years. I know with you, you're talking like car specifications.
But sometimes I have been
make,
talking
model.
chassis.
Yeah,
so-
I have to put the
Yeah.
chassis down to make it look technical.
I would say I'd put it in front of 08.
Okay.
That's my point.
I need to turn caps locks off. Otherwise it just says Mercedes on the list and all the other ones are in lowercase.
Then we move on to probably one of the best easily the best designed silver Mercedes. The W10,
Yeah.
the 2019 Mercedes. Easily the
But-
best car on the grid, but had some close competition in some races.
Like it wasn't.
Hamilton, sorry.
I mean, yes. Austria is like a big one where Mercedes were just like nowhere. They were
And then
fighting over
Singapore,
fourth
they
and
dropped
fifth.
off. Then they finished
They-
fourth and sixth in Singapore.
They weren't going to. I mean, realistically, should have had a harder time winning in Japan, but Ferrari did a Ferrari and ruined that before they even got to the first corner. Um, Verstappen outpaced them in Brazil.
The Red Bull was just better in Brazil, I think.
Mm.
Uh,
I think
Can
it's
I just
probably.
say though? Can I just say that really quickly? Mercedes would have had Spa, Monza, and Singapore if
They wouldn't have
if
had Singapore.
Ferrari didn't have their fuel flow
They wouldn't have had
meter.
Singapore.
Verstappen would have won that if
Verstappen probably would have won
if
that one.
Ferrari
Yeah,
didn't
but I
have their
mean, yeah. Sorry,
fuel flow.
I'm taking that
It
back.
would have been Hamilton versus Verstappen, and it would have been closer than it was in 2018.
Yeah, of course I know that for some reason Mercedes. I remember Mercedes fucked him on the strategy. I
Same
remember
with
watching
Leclerc.
it back and going like, "What the fuck? Why would you?" You know when they leave someone out for too long, and then they end
Yeah.
up going from like in contention with a strong tire to you're in no man's land.
They were
and
trying to do an
fucked.
offset at a track
Yeah,
where the
yeah.
offset isn't necessarily beneficial.
Yes, yeah, that's it. And I remember fucking scratching my head at that. So of course,
But this
yeah,
is the
maybe
thing.
not Singapore,
At the
but
start of the season, that car was you couldn't, apart from one or two races where some drivers or teams got a bit unlucky due to mechanical issues or driver errors. Mercedes won every race up until Austria. Hamilton won 6 of 8. By the time they got to the summer break, he won 8 of 11. I keep forgetting that in the second half of the season he only won 3 races, but the title fight was done after like 8 or 9 races anyway, so it was just like a free for all for a lot of races.
yeah,
Hamilton drove. He only got 5 poles though.
yeah,
But
11
is that
wins,
more
5
down to the
poles.
fact that Ferrari was like the qualifying car?
Well, if I'm honest, right, Bottas was driving at his best and snatched poles here and there. Verstappen got poles here and there when Red Bull had a good qualifying car.
You got one, didn't
Leclerc and
Only
Vettel
got
were
2.
good. You got well, yeah. Sorry, I was thinking of but every so often, obviously Leclerc got 7. Oh, what the fuck?
Sorry, I was pulling my mic out.
yeah, you good.
But, I don't know where I'd put this one, the Hamilton and 19 combo.
I think I would put it second. I'd still put it behind the 2015 car because it got beaten more often than that 2015 car. But it wasn't. It was a very reliable car, and it was still very fast, and it won
Hamilton
most
was
of the
more
races.
clinical. The car was more reliable.
I think also
Not
Bottas
as
having his
dominant.
best season really helps the results of that car.
Okay, I back it. Yeah. Second.
I would say it's closer to, very close to that.
It's
first
closer
spot.
to the 2015 car than the 2014 car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't spell W10. I was about to put W01.
Then, one of the best cars I've ever seen.
I'm going to go for a minute because I know you two will probably have a lot more to say about that car than me.
Yeah.
So I'll be back in a minute. And then tell me where you rank it, but I think I know where it's going.
11 wins. Not sure how many poles. He didn't even do all the races because he missed one because of COVID.
Yeah.
The
That
car was great. It was so
absolute-
good.
It was, yeah.
The
car
DAS,
was
the
nutty.
aero, it was just so good. And it was so clear of all the other cars apart from a couple of races. But Lewis made a few mistakes. The team made a few mistakes. I don't think. Right, as a car, it's the best one.
Oh yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't. Lewis was not at his best, and I don't think the team, in terms of their strategies, were at their best. I don't think it's as clear cut number one as I like. It could be.
Well, we're basing this down as car, aren't we?
We're doing it car and driver combo. And I
I
think
would say,
it's number one, but it's not by much.
yeah.
It,
If we were just saying car, the
if it was
car would
car,
go
it's
fucking
clear.
shoot. If it
It's
was
clear.
strategy, then it was a bit like, oh,
If it was on driver, it's not number one. If it was on strategy and team, it's not number one. But if it was on car, it is number one. But we're comparing it to 15 and 9. No, 15 and 9. Yeah, 15 and 19. Where it's the car is better. The drive. I think he's better in. I think he was better in 2019 than he was in 2020. Like Lewis. I think
I
he.
could see.
I think he drove better then. I think it could be second or third here, as an overall.
Yeah.
But the car is so far clear of Red Bull, apart from one or two races. Bottas had a stinker. The thing is, as well, when it was also behind cars, it wasn't really. It was very much a lead from the front car.
Yeah.
It wasn't made for racing, as it were. But when it did, most of the time, it got past because it was so much quicker. But it was made to lead from the front.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to put it second here.
You're gonna put it second.
I'm going to put it second. Just. That's controversial.
That's very controversial.
Now we just wait for Finn to get back. I might have to. Oh, do I end it? Yeah. Well, I've got work at 5. Oh, depending on how long Finn is, we might end it
Finn.
here. And then we've only got. It means we've only got 3 cars to go through tomorrow, or whenever we're next on. Where are you going to put it, Brad? We'll let Finn have. What we'll do is we won't say anything. We'll just let Finn decide. You said you put it top.
I put it top, yeah.
And then wherever Finn puts it, if he puts, we won't say anything. If he puts it somewhere, then we'll go with. Like if he picks one of the ones we've gone for, we put it there. If he's gone for something different, then we'll have a think.
Yeah, I reckon he's put it second.
I don't think he's going to put it at the top. No, we'll see. Jamie should be finishing work soon as well.
She finished it like now.
She's finishing. She said she finishes at 10:30.
Bro, that's mad.
I know. Although, in fairness, she could be let out early, so I don't know. Let's check my YouTube real quick. I want to see if all the things are updated yet. Bro, what is this, right? I'm just scrolling through like my videos and whatnot, like the streams of the Spider-Man games, right?
Yeah.
Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Part 5. Like they do relatively well, no more than like 15 views or whatnot. It's pretty chill. Part 6, 23. Part 6.5, right? This is less than a 15-minute video of just nothing happens in this really. 100 views.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. And then there's like part 7 where there was a lot of action, like 37. And then there's like parts 8 only got 18, part 9 got 7, and whatnot. It's just, I don't understand what people actually want to see. Has the one with Venom gone out yet? That should be out, no? Where is it? Where's the one with Venom? Oh, that's alive. How's that one doing? Is it out? I don't think it's out yet. It fucking should be. Where's the playlist? My playlist for Spider-Man. Yeah, barely any views. Crazy. I don't understand how it
It
works.
ain't got
But
no views.
it's got 5.
Fucking hell.
And then the one where I had 2 boss battles has 1 at the moment. I do wonder how the whole thing works. Right, yeah, but Finn is taking a bit of a while, so I think I will happily come back to this tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm not going to leave until he's back, but I'll hear what he's got to say, and then before we move on, I'll head off.
Yeah.
Why is it silent?
Because we're waiting for you.
Oh. Did you not talk about the W11?
We did. We ended the conversation like 2 minutes ago.
Okay. So put it first
So-
then? Yeah, cool. Yeah, right.
No, Finn, where are you putting it? We've already spoken about where are you putting it?
I mean, I put it first. The only thing that
Oh,
led
is
it...
Well, it's going first then, isn't it?
What? He's put it first.
The only thing that let it down
Well, go on,
was just
finish
wasn't
your thing.
kind.
Finish your thing.
It wasn't kind on its tyres, which is what cost it a few races, but a few is like 2, if you take out mistakes of like... Because I think Abu Dhabi was a bit related to tyres as well. Because there's just that many corners there.
I want to say that Brad put it first, Stu put it first, I actually put it second.
You put it behind the W06.
I said it's a car, it was very much built to lead from the front. Obviously it was amazing and it was, most of the time it was clear, and obviously Lewis drove well and the team did a good job most of the time, but there were a few strategic blunders, there were a few driver errors. I don't think I think Lewis himself drove better the year before than he did in 2020. And yeah, I think the team weren't as on the ball at key moments. Like an easy win in Sakir gone begging, an avoidable mistake of costing Hamilton the win in Monza. Obviously, then there was Sochi where he probably could have won or could have been far more competitive, and then obviously that went tits up.
He
You
got
mentioned Abu
fucked over
Dhabi.
at Sochi though.
Yeah, no, he did. Yeah, but also
He fucked himself, but he also got fucked over big time.
yeah, it's one of those things that is complete. This is the thing. I think Mercedes they got themselves caught up in things that were so avoidable. Do you know what I mean? And then also in terms like they had real sensor issues in the first race, and then also
That's the only,
was also a
like-
concern in Mugello. It had concerns in Mugello as well.
Yeah, and that's the
Even though
only
they were clear.
reliability fault that can come with the car as well. Is that
Yeah.
it was sensitive to
Yeah,
aggressive
exactly.
driving.
This is the thing. It was a car that was made to lead in a very tame environment. It doesn't mean it's not one of the best cars of all time, because I think it is, and it's one of my favourites.
Oh yeah.
But there are
For sure.
weaknesses to that season and the car that if you were able to catch up and things went your way and you put everything together right, you could challenge. And as you saw in the 70th anniversary Grand Prix and in Abu Dhabi, they were beatable on merit.
Yeah.
That's why I put it second. But I love that car, and it's one of my favourites. So. But that is unfortunately where we're going to have to end it for tonight. We have run out of time for the other three in terms of me, because I
But to
actually
be
have
honest,
to go to bed.
we could go into more depth about the last three, because that's the one where we know the most about for
The
everyone.
next three are very. I think, apart from one, I think the W13 is the one I've probably got the least to say about.
Oh no, I've got.
Let's just say now, none of them are troubling the top.
I would say none of them trouble the top 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for watching this first part, which is
Well,
like
it's
when I
actually
say
two
first
parts
part,
for me.
it's the
It's
first
nice
2
recording.
parts and the vast majority of this. We'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye now. Can't believe we actually did this again.